Hey, what's going on, guys? Web here, bringing you a little bit of gameplay commentary. In the background, we got some Smite gameplay, arena, more casual game mode, just to show off, I guess, the casual side of things. Anyway, I think I'm going to start doing these just to talk about various different subjects, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into the subject that I have right now, which is how low people's expectations of video games are, and just how easily satisfied we as gamers have kind of become, and how I think it's kind of killing just modern games. Nobody expects greatness anymore out of games, and it's really sad. I'm not a Smite player, I'm not a RuneScape player, I'm a gamer. I've been playing games since I was like 4 years old, 3 years old. I remember playing, Super Mario on my older brother's Super Nintendo. I remember beating that at like age 7, like 5 or 7, something like that. And it's making me really sad how easily people are just like satisfied with crap. And my example will be Star Wars Battlefront. Recently it came out. I've seen some people give it good reviews. I've heard that EA has been paying people off. That sounds about right for EA. But I grew up with Battlefront. Battlefront 2 was one of my favorite games when I was a kid. And this game that came out, what is it? I don't get it. So why are people defending games that have no right to exist, that are just worse than every game that has come out before them? Why do people defend Halo 5 when it's microtransaction based in a competitive shooter? Why do they defend it when it doesn't have that really awesome skill based, arena based combat, when it has like 5 maps, when the map designs are just bad in general now? Why do people defend Fallout 4's simplicity, like lack of RPG elements that was in other games that people loved? Dialogue doesn't exist. Every choice is the same. Skills, nope, who needs those? Like, they're dumbing down the game, and people say, "Oh, it's fine. It's streamlined. It's cool. You don't need anything else." Why do people defend Battlefront when it isn't a Battlefront game? It doesn't have classes. It doesn't have vehicles. It doesn't have the extra game modes. It doesn't have space battles. It doesn't have a single player to speak of. When that game had amazing replay value. It had the single player that was just a linear single player game. It had 2 campaigns. One from... it had the... What was it? It was the campaign where you go from the Clone Wars as the clones, and then you go into all the way up to like the Hoth battle. Like, that's awesome. That's amazing. Why would they take that out? They took out the Galactic, what was it, Galactic Conquest? I haven't played it in so long. The like infinite game mode where you're just trying to take over the galaxy, basically. Why did they take that out? And I was listing these things that were gone in the comments section of a Battlefront review that gave it a positive review. And I was met with people saying that my expectations of the game were too high. A game from, what was it, 2005? Is that when Battlefront 2 came out? Game from 2005. Here in 2015, we are expected games to have less features than games that came out in 2005. And people are okay with that. They're okay with paying $60 for a game that has 4 maps. I don't understand. Or they're okay with buying half a game now and then paying $50 to get the actual rest of the game a year down the line. I don't get how that's okay to people. Like, I don't know. I'm probably gonna make some people mad. And I know that video games are still a great value for your money. It's $60, and even if you spend, 3 hours on the game, it was worth it compared to a lot of other activities and hobbies and stuff. So that's cool, but I don't see very many game companies pushing the boundaries, because nobody's pushing them. Nobody says, hey, this is what we want. They just say, whatever, it's a game. I'll play it for a couple hours and whatever. So, why? I don't know. How do I have too high of expectations when EA has an infinite pool of money? why don't I expect them to try to work at their jobs? And why am I a bad person for saying, hey, I don't want to give my hard-earned money to people who aren't working hard to make their games the best that they can make them? You know, like if you were an engineer and you just made plans for things and the plans just didn't work, you're like, oh, well, no, sorry, my bad. Would people just say, oh, I mean, it's okay, they worked for a week, so that's cool, it's alright? No, they would get fired. They would get, demoted. They would have some sort of repercussion for that. Video game developers, no, it's cool. Game doesn't work, we'll fix it 3 months later. It's alright. There's not enough content, don't worry, there is more content that is on the disc coming next week for $20. It was already done, but we'll just put an arbitrary price tag on it. I don't get how that's okay. This review that I was watching, I heard somebody say that innovation is a bad thing. Okay. I get the idea of wanting simplistic games. There are a lot of simplistic games out there that are awesome. Papers, Please. It's what, a $10 game? Really fun. Binding of Isaac. It's a game it's just a simple, bullet hell shooter type thing. That's a simple game. But these games are indie games that are $20. Those are the games that I want simplified. Games that are AAA releases that are $60 that they expect you to pay $50 for the rest of the content. No. They should not be lacking innovation. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get that. People, they just buy anything. They just buy it, and then they're just like, oh, no, it's cool. It only has 4 maps, on launch, but they'll add more DLC. I'm paying $50 extra so that the game can be fun a month later. Why is the game not expected to be fun on release? I think people really need to kind of up their standards. And I know that sounds opinionated, but if we want another Ocarina of Time sometime in the next 20 years, we're not going to get it. Nobody has an incentive to innovate anymore. There's no reason whatsoever. Why are people... What else? What other points have I missed here? I can't blame game developers either. That's another thing. They say, hey, these people, everybody's just buying this crap even though we're not putting any effort into it, so let's put even less effort into it. Spend more time on DLC and, making 4 games a year. Why would we bother putting a bunch of effort into one game if nobody cares? So, I don't know. And eventually it's just going to get to the point where games are just random hour-long distractions for $60 if, this keeps up, because the game devs just don't have to try. They're just like, okay, well, we'll just throw together something, and if you can play it for an hour, then people will buy it. I don't know. And the worst thing is hearing people complain about a game, complain about business practices, and then they go and buy the game anyway. If you don't like a game's business practices, or a game developer's business practices, don't buy their games. If you don't like the state that a game came out in, don't buy the game. If you're complaining, if you have a problem with the game, and you buy the game, you are part of the problem. You can't go blaming the developers for taking advantage of consumers when you allow them to take advantage of you. If you don't support a game, if you don't support a developer, don't buy it. Buy it pre-owned, buy it on sale, or buy it after it gets fixed. If they notice that, hey, now a new patch came out that fixed the game and sales went up, then they'll notice maybe we should just do this in the beginning. But when it doesn't matter, nothing's going to get changed. So, I don't know. That bothers me. So, let me know what you guys think about this, I guess. That's going to be probably it for this commentary. I would add something in if I think of anything, but, I mean, I don't know. That was just a little rant that I came up with. Let me know what you guys think. I'm tired of games not having anything substantial in them. Rock Band 4, that was a game that I can't comprehend how it exists. It doesn't have anything. It has like 4 hairstyle options for your characters. It has like it has nothing. There's no reason to buy it. Like Rock Band 3 is a superior game in every way. There's nothing that the game offers, and they're still putting it out, and people still buy it, and I can't comprehend how this stuff keeps being a thing when a game has nothing to it. There's no reason for you to buy it, but people still do anyway. So I don't know. I don't get it, and it makes me sad. Like the most basic things that are just missing from games, you know, like just from options to like multiple loadouts. Like there aren't even multiple loadouts in Battlefront. There aren't even multiple classes in Battlefront. The character customization, there's like 147 different characters essentially, and 90% of them are just the same dude with a different hairstyle. Would it really have been too much to ask for them to add in a, you know, like a customizer for each individual part of the body? Like that is too much to ask now in current, like in modern gaming, and it's a joke. It's a joke that the most basic things are just, they don't exist anymore. I don't know. It's just, it's sad to see, because, you know, I grew up with games that, you know, like, they came out, you know, they functioned. Well, isn't that cool? You know, Crash Bandicoot, you bought the game, all the levels worked, and the game was a decent length, and it was fun. You know? The old Spider-Man games. If you wanted to unlock a new costume, you beat the game on the hardest difficulty. You collected all the secret comics. You know, did something in the game to unlock these things. And now the game would come out. Pre-order bonus, you get one Spidey costume. Then for the season pass, you got another one. And for the deluxe edition, you got a different one. And the rest were DLC. I miss having content in games, and I don't see it ever getting any better than it is right now, if people stay as complacent as they are. So I guess my word to all of you watching is, please don't buy games that you don't 100% stand behind and support and want to buy. Fallout 4, I bought it on release. That is because Bethesda is an awesome company. I support their business practices, the way that they do business, and the game is going to have great modding community. Was I disappointed with it? A little bit. I was disappointed with it a little bit, the simplicity of it and all that stuff. Fallout 4 could be, you can say, oh, I guess it was streamlined. Like, you can make the argument that it was just streamlined and they didn't do anything. You could tell they still put effort into the game. They didn't just say, we don't need to try because why would we? No, you can tell they put effort into the game. They put a lot of effort into that game, and I can appreciate that. So I don't even know where that came from, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and shut up now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will leave you with the rest of this gameplay. Peace out.